Welcome back, everybody, here to the Par-Mar Tip-Off Classic. Chris Kidd here with you with Butch Mounts, our engineer, as we are getting set for game number 2 here, as this clash will take place between two undefeated teams. Again, our first matchup was two winless teams. Now we've got two undefeated teams on hand, as it's the 3-0 George Washington Patriots, ranked number 3 in Class AAA, going up against the 8-0 Ashland Blazer Kentucky Tomcats at 8-0. Chris Kidd here with you as both teams out of the locker room now after we had our Legends Tip-Off Classic moment presented by Par-Mar Stores, presented a lot of our legendary coaches who are being honored, like Ron Hess, Bob Neely, Mick Price, Mark Hatcher, Jerry Bradley, and Charles Cole, as that was a great presentation. But right now, let's take things down to the floor and listen in to the starting lineups for both clubs.
Today's card features the visiting team, Tomcats of Ashland Blazer High School, taking on the host team, Patriots of George Washington High School. Now let's meet the starting lineup for each team, beginning with the Tomcats of Ashland Blazer High. At guard, a 5'11" freshman, number 11, Colin Porter. Sophomore, number 20, Cole Miller. And guard, a 6-foot senior, number 22, Justin Bradley. And guard, a 6'2" senior, number 24, Ethan Hudson. And then forward, a 6'4" senior, number 21, Nolan Gillis. Coach Jason Mays and the rest of the George Washington High School. And forward, a 6'2" junior, number 21, William Campbell. And guard, a 6'1" junior, number 23, Mason Pinkett. And center, a 6'3" senior, number 30, Trey Ritchie. Senior number 3, Gus Eddy. And then forward is 6'4" senior, number 42, Evan Hughes. Green and the rest of George Washington High School.
Those are the starting lineups for both clubs. Again, George Washington, coached by Rick Green, while Ashland Blazer, coached by Jason Mays. And Jason Mays, he coached and assisted coach in college at Georgetown College, along with Valdosta State and Kentucky Wesleyan. So Coach Mays has had some experience at the next level, and now coming back to coach Ashland. Again, Ashland averaging 73.4 points per game, allowing 53.1. They were 13-17 last year, but really picking it up this year. And have been state champs 4 times in 1928, 1934, 1935, but not since 1962 have they claimed a state title. They haven't been to the state tournament in Kentucky since 2002, but feel like they've got a chance this year with this club as they get opening possession. 3 from the left corner. Off the mark, no good for Ethan Hudson, and knocked out of bounds. It'll stay here with the Tomcats as they'll inbound from underneath their own basket. That's Colin Porter, the sensational 5'9" freshman, set to trigger it in, gets it into the corner, and deflected out of bounds by Gabbert, so it'll stay with Ashland. As now they'll switch inbounders here. It'll be Justin Bradley to throw it in. Bradley, 6-foot senior. They get it back deep as Hudson has his pass deflected and into the hands of Gus Eddy. And Eddy, who missed last night's game, he was feeling under the weather, but decided he's going to give it a go here today and comes up with a key still early on. And GW gets off to a nice start as they get it down to Trey Ritchie, the 6'3" senior, and he converts on the right-handed jump hook. And he had 5 last night in the win over Riverside. So here comes Porter up the floor. Gets it inside, shot off the mark, no good. Rebounded underneath, taken away by Phillips. Now they get it back over. Phillips, he'll go for 3, and he'll connect from the corner. And Nolan Phillips, only averaging 1.1 points per game on the year, opens up with a three-pointer, and Ashland has the early lead. Eddie on the right wing, gets it out to Pinkett. Mason Pinkett, who was the hero on Tuesday night against South Charleston, can't convert on the running jumper. Rebound comes down for Ashland. They get it over, and a travel going to be called on the Tomcats. So that'll give it back over to GW, trailing 3-2 in the early stages of game number 2 from the Parmar Tip-Off Classic. Again, earlier today it was Capital defeating Riverside for their first win of the season, as Eddie, being trapped out front by Porter, gives it off. Now back out to Pinkett. Pinkett trying to size up his defender, takes it right side, gets all the way to the basket, and Mason Pinkett picks up where he left off on Tuesday night. Again, he averaged 15.1 points per game last year, but only played in 9 games because of a knee injury that he suffered. So Pinkett made a big statement on Tuesday night with that 29-point effort in that 1-point win over South Charleston. It's 3 on the way, no good from the right side as Villers got a nice look. Rebound fought for him. Pinkett comes away with it. Outlet pass up ahead to Eddie. Eddie up the left side. Gets it back to Pinkett. GW with an early 1-point lead as Gabbert takes it right baseline, puts up the floater and won't fall as it rolls off. Strong rebound underneath, taken away by Phillips. Here comes Ashland back up top of the key. Swing it over for Villers, now handing it off for Hudson. Hudson back to Villers into the right corner. Good ball movement by Ashland. They get it over right side. Open 3 on the way and count it for Ethan Hudson. Again, tremendous ball movement by this Ashland, Kentucky team, as Hudson, one of the captains on this roster, along with Villers. Now we get a whistle and a blocking foul going to be called against Ashland. So they get a blocking foul on Justin Bradley. That'll be number 1 on him. They inbound it deep. Coming in is Eddie. Good fake. Gets to the free throw line, and Eddie able to convert for his first bucket of the game. Again, averaging 8.1 points per game last year, but has been in double figures in both the games that he's played this year. He had 11 the other night in the win over South Charleston, including a driving layup that tied the game with 3.9 seconds left. All even at 6 apiece, under 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Villers on the right wing, now gets into the center, gets it over to Porter. Porter fights his way in, triple team, and throws it away, taken away by Evan Hughes. Gives it off to Pinkett. Pinkett over left side, gets into the corner. Eddie, open jumper on the way, no good off the side of the iron. Rebound comes down to Ashland as Villers able to corral it. He'll bring it across the timeline with a 6'2 sophomore. And now into the corner, and another 3 buried as Justin Bradley, averaging 7.4 points per game on the year. He's a 45% three-point shooter, and shows why with that opening salvo, as it's 9-6. Looking to answer the other way, and doing so as William Gabbert gets his first bucket of the game. And he had a career-high 19 points against East Carter. He was shut out against South Charleston and had 4 against Riverside. But Gabbert gets his first attempt to go, averaged 6.3 points per game last year. Now into the right corner, 3 on the way, no good this time off the front iron by Bradley. Long rebound comes out, Pinkett dribbles up, lost control of it, goes off the backboard, and fought for underneath and taken away by Ashland. Now here's Porter in the front court, gets it over as he collapses the defense. 3 on the way for Villers, no good, but Porter gets the rebound back, tries to up fake, cross-court pass, knocked away from Pinkett and out of bounds, but it'll stay with Ashland, Kentucky. And these two teams met last year, and GW was able to knock off Ashland 63-49 in that contest. So now Ashland looking for some revenge this year, as both teams fighting to keep their undefeated seasons alive in this early stages of the year. Again, Ashland coming in at 8-0, GW at 3-0. Over right side, Hudson already has a 3 in this game. Gets it off to Bradley. Bradley being guarded heavily by Pinkett. Now they go down low, and not a whole lot there. And we get a whistle underneath as Phillips is trying to fight for position. And a tie-up will give it over to GW here with the score tied 9-9. Chance for the Patriots to retake the lead. Pinkett gives it off and ends up throwing it away. So he was trying to get into his offense there quickly and ended up going off the hands of Ingold. and out of bounds. Ingold had 12 points last night in the win over Riverside. Right there, an errant pass, gives it back to Ashland. Now Porter gives it to Bradley. Now back over to Porter, giving Porter, just a freshman, the creator on this offense, gets it right corner, 3 on the way, no good that time by Hudson. Rebound comes down, here comes GW back the other way, hard charge into the center that time by Yoakum, who's checked in, and now we'll get a whistle. And looks like possession will stay with GW here with 2:43 to go in the first quarter. They'll inbound it, far side. They're able to get it into Ingold. He'll drive in on the right block. Pump fakes, goes up, can't convert, tips it back out, however. Yoakum has it. He got a hot hand the other night against South Charleston. As they get it to Pinkett, picks up his dribble over to Eddie. Eddie, guarded by Porter, gives it back over left side. GW patient on this possession, trying to find the opening, and Pinkett drives into a double team, rejected, and then tried to feed it off inside, but throws it over the head of Evan Hughes and out of bounds. So a couple turnovers here back-to-back on both sides. And both teams paying a lot more attention to the perimeter now, but they get it ahead quickly. Hudson drives in, they swing it around, Porter back over, now back into the hands of Hudson. He thought about a 3 and instead back to Porter. Again, good recovery defense that time by GW. Porter drives in strong into the center and able to finish on the way to the basket. Again, the freshman averaging 14.6 points per game, along with 6.1 assists per game, 5.1 rebounds, and 3.6 steals per game. Not too bad for a freshman, as Pinkett throws it away. And another GW turnover as Eddie steps back in, and here you see the drive again on video productions by Porter. Able to get inside, drew some contact there from Yoakum rather, but nothing called, and Porter able to finish at the rim. But again, those statistics from Porter said not too bad for a freshman. That's not too bad for anybody. And he had 24 last night in the win over Capital. Now we got a whistle and going to be a foul here on Ashland. Away from the ball, going to get this on Nolan Phillips. Now checking into the game will be Ryan Adkins for Ashland. He had 8 points last night in the win over Capital, did the 6'2 sophomore. Down to final 90 seconds of the first quarter. Yoakum over right side, trying to drive baseline, lost control of it, and out of bounds, and another Patriot turnover. Again, they've really had their difficulties with possession here as Gotts couldn't hang on to it. And this is kind of similar to the Tuesday night game against South Charleston in the first quarter, where GW really struggled with the pressure of the Black Eagles before they finally settled in. Right now find themselves trailing it by 2 as Villers gets to the right side, and now here's an Ashland turnover. So both these teams started out very crisp, but it's gotten sloppy here in the last couple of minutes. Again, some tension here, obviously, between these two undefeated teams, sizing each other up here in the first quarter. As Eddie into the center. Tries to kick it out, now trying to drive in on the right side. Nothing really there for McCarty, but now he finds a slight opening, but comes up short on the mid-range shot. Here comes Villers back the other way. Villers trying to wait on Hudson to clear, and now does on the right wing. Nice step, tries to get baseline, but knocked out of bounds by Eddie, and good quick hands by Gus Eddie, the 5'9 senior. Now Porter looking to inbound it here, but looking for the play first. It's McCarty doing jumping jacks essentially in front of him, but Porter able to get it in. It's Bradley out front for Porter, closing in on 30 seconds to go in the first 8 minutes of play. Porter takes it right side, gets it back out front for Bradley. We'll see if Ashland tries to hold for one here. Almost stolen away by McCarty, got his hands on it. Porter gets in, and a travel on Porter. That'll give it back to GW here. Again, some tough defense on both sides here. After the opening stages, again, it was 9-9. Felt like about a little over midway into this quarter, and ever since then, only 2 points have been scored. Now GW perhaps getting the last look of the quarter with 9 seconds left. Eddie dribbles inside the free throw line, tries to kick it out, and we get a whistle and a hold on Ashland. That'll be against Viller. It'll be his first, and that's 3 team fouls against Ashland. None thus far against George Washington. GW will inbound from underneath their own basket with 5.6 seconds left in the first quarter. They get it in deep for Yoakum. Yoakum takes it into the center, kicks it over left side. 3 on the way, short for Eddie, and that will end the first quarter of play with Ashland, Kentucky leading George Washington in this battle of undefeateds 11-9. We'll be back after this break as you are watching the Par-Mar Tip-Off Classic with us right here live on Video Productions.
Started as the Par-Mar Oil Company in 1967, has grown into 116 convenience stores in 4 states. Par-Mar convenience stores offer monthly product specials and grab-and-go items. Located just down the street from where you live, Par-Mar stores are all about being your above-par convenience store. If you don't have a Par-Mar store near you now, you will soon. Par-Mar convenience stores, neighbors serving your community and making life a little bit easier every day.
You've been seriously injured. Now it's time to pick a lawyer.
You pick one with big verdicts and settlements?
We've successfully handled many million-dollar cases.
How about the recommendation of a friend?
We probably help somebody in your neighborhood.
How about a firm with lots of resources?
You can have it all.
We're Farmer Klein and Campbell.
Well-known and very effective.
When you call us about your injury, you'll know you've made the right decision.
Farmer Klein and Campbell is the way to go. Call 346-5990.
11-9, Ashland leading George Washington as we start quarter number 2 here from the Par-Mar Tip-Off Classic. Chris Kidd with you with Butch Mounts, our engineer. And again, stay tuned. After this, we'll be on our way down to Chapmanville, West Virginia. Again, Robbie Mounts there right now as you've got Beckley Prep and Beth Haven doing battle at the moment. And we'll be there streaming those games. You can watch that as well on our adjacent channels here on Video Productions, as 5 games on tap there today, and we'll be there for the call of the last 3 later on. It's a drive here and a charge called as Villers spilled hard to the ground and appears to be hurt as he went to the basket. And it looks like it's his left leg, trying to see maybe what or where at the moment as he came crashing down hard. And it looks like it's his knee. As you see here on our instant replay. And Villers got the lane, and then coming over, taking the charge at the last moment was Trey Ritchie. And you just see there was no real give as he went to the ground that time. Now Villers gets to his feet, and Villers, he's the leading scorer on this Ashland ball club. Villers averaging 18.9 points per game along with 2.6 steals per game. So this would be a huge loss if he's unable to continue here today for Ashland. He'll be looked at momentarily over on the bench just to try and gauge where he's at. So he was able to walk off under his own power despite limping and still limping as he gets up and heads towards the end of the bench to be looked at a little bit more. Like I said, there was just no give as he went to the ground that time. Pinkett will take a 3, and he'll hit it from the left side, and that'll give GW the lead back as Pinkett with 5 points now. 12-11, first field goal in a while for either club. It's Porter takes it over to the left, trying to create some space here as Ritchie comes out on him. Porter dribbles in, swinging around. Bradley up fakes, gets inside. Short baseline jumper, and count it for Justin Bradley. He's also got 5 as Ashland takes the lead back by 1. Now Hughes gives it off to Yoakum. Yoakum steps back, now drives in on Bradley towards the right baseline. Double teamed as Porter comes in on him. He gets it back out for Hughes. Hughes looking, finds Yoakum, got free. He'll take a 3, and it misses over the rim and out of bounds. And it'll be Ashland ball here with 6:49 to go in the first half. Gabbert checks back in for GW. And Villers still at the end of the bench right now. Still seems to be in some pain as he's holding underneath his left knee right now, just kind of looking on as they get it over to the right side. It's Hunter Gillum, the 5'10" junior, into the game for Ashland. Back out top. Hudson gets it to Porter, now over cross court. They get inside, back up the top of the key for Sellers. Now over to Porter. He'll take a three, no good. Nice strong rebound underneath by Gillum to maintain possession for the Tomcats. And Ashland leads it by 1. 6:15 to go in the first half. Porter over right side, steps back, swings it around. Hudson for three, no good, too strong. And rebound comes down to Hughes. Here comes Eddie now as GW trying to race up, and we get a whistle and a travel on the way in as trying to control himself going up that time was Ritchie, but just couldn't get control of the ball in time in order to set his feet and be able to plant. And also we get score update. The West Virginia Mountaineers knock off Youngstown State 75-64 today. Porter with the ball on the right side. He'll step back, being guarded by Eddie. Swings it over, dangerous pass, but able to hang on to it was Bradley. Now you get it to Porter again as he retreats back to near midcourt. 1 point lead for the Tomcats. Again, good ball movement on the perimeter. GW, though, has done a great job of recovering all game. Now they get it out front, dribble drive in, kicks it back out. Porter open, gives it off to Hudson instead, and Hudson will hit the three. Again, just great ball movement by Ashland. How many passes they needed was impressive, but Hudson 18.7 points per game, and he's a 44% three-point shooter as they've just got great shooting all around the perimeter. Does this Ashland team, as you see it again here on our instant replay, just all the looks, and GW scrambling to try and get back in position, but finally Ashland able to create the final look that they needed. GW able to get a bucket back here to close it back to 2 as Evan Hughes able to get inside and score to make it 16-14. So thus far, 4 3-pointers for Ashland has been the majority of their offense. Porter looks for a screen from Gillum, takes it over to the left side, now skips it to Sellers. Sellers into the center, gets it back to Gillum. Now Porter ball fakes. He'll put up a three himself this time. Off the back iron, no good, and rebounded by Eddie. So a chance for GW to tie or take the lead back. Drive in this time and a hold on the way in. We'll see who this goes against. They're going to call him Porter on that foul, so that'll be his first. And that is 16 fouls against Ashland, and they're going to say that was in the act of shooting, so Gabbert will go to the free throw line. That's 16 fouls against Ashland, 1 against GW. And Villers was up trying to run along the baseline just to try and test out and see how his knee was feeling. Seemed to be running a little bit better there, and it looks like they're going to put him back in here as Villers walking to the scorer's table, and that's a great sign after that hard fall he took a moment ago. Gabbert unable to hit on the second free throw. So he hits 1 of 2, 16-15 in favor of Ashland as we approach the midway point of the second quarter. Kicking it out and stolen away by Eddie. Again, Eddie just sneaks around the court so well and comes up with so many key steals. Chance now for GW to take the lead back. Hughes goes up with the left hand and able to finish. Great move by Evan Hughes that time to get position into the center and bank it in to make it 17-16 Patriots. Porter picks up his dribble, gives it over to Hudson, back to Porter. Gets a screen as he gets inside, floater on the way, and can't get it to fall. Here comes GW trying to extend this 1 point lead. They're on a mini 5-0 run right now. Eddie, top of the key for Yoakum. He'll take it over to the left elbow, now picks up his dribble. Gabbert gets it. He'll take a jumper from the right elbow, and Gabbert no good on this one, but the rebound comes out long. There's Eddie again, baseline jumper up, no good. Gillum tears it away for Ashland. Here comes Gillum up the center of the floor. Kicks it back out. Porter trailing the play, goes for three, no good off the side of the iron, and rebound to Gabbert. A couple good looks from both clubs that time, but nothing able to fall as Eddie gets out to Hughes. He'll put up the three quickly, no good. So he can hit that shot, but unable to that time, and they get a loose ball foul on Trey Ritchie. And that'll bring Villers back into the game. Again, this is a GW team. They've been to the state tournament 3 years in a row. They lost last year to Cabell Midland 64-62 in the quarterfinals, but were state champions in 2018, beating Martinsburg 62-41. Come into this year ranked number 3 behind defending state champion University, who's a unanimous number 1, and Martinsburg, who's at number 2. And GW is picked to win the Mountain State Athletic Conference by the coaches. And 5 of the 11 teams in the MSAC are in the top 10 to start the year in AAA. So going to be a very difficult conference, as always, in the MSAC. Driving in as Hudson gives it off, cutting as Villers, and fouled on the way in. And they'll go to the line with 2:42 left here in the first half. GW, they've had over 20 wins the last 2 years. Were 20-6 last year, 23-3 their state championship year. Haven't had a losing season since 2016. That's free throw up and good for Villers. That's his first point of the game for the leading scorer on this Ashland ball club. As we said, almost averaging 19 points per game. He's an 84% foul shooter and hits both. So Ashland back in front by 1 at 18-17. Pinkett fires over to Hughes. It's Hughes. Thought about it. Now gives it back over to Yoakum. 2.5 to go before halftime. Now to Gabbard. He'll get into the center. Back out to Yoakum. Towards free throw line. Pulls up. Tough shot. And he's fouled on the way up. And that'll send him to the free throw line. Yoakum, 6'1 junior. Moved up from the JV squad just this past year. And been very productive in all 3 games. 12 against East Carter, 11 against South Charleston, 8 against Riverside. Now a chance for his first point of the game here as he's able to connect. As you see it here on our replay, the foul on the way up, and that's on Porter, and that's number 2 on him, so that's a big call. Get the starting point guard of Ashland in foul trouble with his second. We'll see if they elect to keep him on the bench for the rest of the half now as Yoakum hits on both free throws. 19-18, GW regains the lead. So it'll be Gillum running the point now for Ashland. Get it over to Villers. Now Sellers with it on the left side, back up top for Gillum. Sellers being guarded by Pinkett. He'll drive in, kicks it out, open look for a moment. Now they swing it around a little bit more. Again, that pass is deflected a little, which prevented Hudson from getting that shot off. Now you get it back to Villers, drives in, tough look, but able to draw a contact, and he'll go back to the free throw line. Again, this is a GW team that they have 9 players back from last year that played extensive minutes for them last season, but they did lose their leading scorer in Bunky Brown. Again, Brown graduated, was first team All-State, captain last year, and averaged over 26 points per game for George Washington. And Coach Rick Green even said that they have height and some quickness, but not as much athleticism as they did. And they said they don't have the luxury of running and jumping like they had before, but he said that they have to be more fundamentally sound this year in what they're doing. And thus far, so good here this season as they get out to the 3-0 start. And right now, trailing by 1 after Villers hit both free throws. Now Hughes will go over and inbound right in front of the Ashland bench. Hughes looking and finally finds man as McCarty comes to help out. Over to Yoakum. Back up top for Pinkett. Minute 35 left in the first half. Pinkett over to his right. Picked up there, goes back up the top of the key. McCarty dribbles over, kicks it back up top. Pinkett tries to go inside and stolen away by Sellers. Sellers skips it over. Hudson thought about a deep 3, instead gives it off to Villers. Villers tried to get baseline but was cut off by Hughes, and now Ashland will reset. Gillum with it. Back to Sellers, and he gets a screen up top. Swing it over to Hudson. He'll drive inside, puts up a mid-range shot. Off the back iron, no good. Long rebound comes out. Hughes able to corral it. Under a minute to go in the second quarter. Pinkett into the paint on the left side, and he's hammered on the way to the basket. And Pinkett will go to the free throw line. It's both teams struggling from the field at the moment, but they've been finding ways to get to the charity stripe, and Pinkett will make his first trip there today. As you see here on our instant replay. Nice job by Pinkett, seeing that Ashland hadn't got back on defense in time, was able to drive right by Villers in order to get into the paint as he misses on his first attempt. Pinkett had 13 last night against Riverside, and as mentioned, that big 29-point effort against South Charleston, including the game-winning free throws with 0.4 of a second left in that wacky finish. Now Ingold will check in for GW, and Ritchie will go to the bench. So that's the second foul on Nolan Phillips, who hacked Pinkett on the way in, and Pinkett splits the free throws, 1 of 2. So we're all even at 20 apiece. 45 seconds to go before halftime. Sellers, right wing, gets it over near side for Villers. Fakes, now steps back for 3. No good as it almost goes over the rim, but now rebounded by Hudson underneath. Goes back up. He can't finish. Rebound taken away by Pinkett. 30 seconds to go before halftime. Pinkett over left side. McCarty looks inside. Instead goes cross court. Hughes gets an open look for 3, and Evan Hughes able to convert. He's got 7 points, all of them here in the second quarter. On the other end, a charge called as Sellers barreled in and ran over top of McCarty, and that'll get the ball back to GW as they have gone on a mini run here near the end of the first half. There you see the charge taken to give the ball back now to GW. 12 seconds to go before halftime. Coach Rick Green trying to set things up here with 7 seconds. Pinkett now will go against Sellers with 5. Takes it right side, pull-up jumper, short. Rebounded by Sellers with 2 seconds. He'll try and heave at the horn. No good, off the side of the backboard. And that will do it for the first 16 minutes of play as George Washington Patriots lead the Ashland, Kentucky Tomcats 23-20 in this battle of undefeated ball clubs. Well, we'll step aside for a break, and when we come back, we'll have all your first half stats and analysis here from George Washington High School as you are watching the Par-Mar Tip-Off Classic with us right here live on Video Productions.
Started as the Par-Mar Oil Company in 1967, has grown into 116 convenience stores in 4 states. Par-Mar convenience stores offer monthly product specials and grab-and-go items. Located just down the street from where you live, Par-Mar stores are all about being your above-par convenience store. If you don't have a Par-Mar store near you now, you will soon. Par-Mar convenience stores, neighbors serving your community and making life a little bit easier every day.
You've been seriously injured. Now it's time to pick a lawyer.
You pick one with big verdicts and settlements?
We've successfully handled many million-dollar cases.
How about the recommendation of a friend?
We probably help somebody in your neighborhood.
How about a firm with lots of resources?
You can have it all.
We're Farmer Klein and Campbell.
Well-known and very effective.
When you call us about your injury, you'll know you've made the right decision.
Farmer Klein and Campbell is the way to go. Call 346-5990.
To us, justice is not just a word. It's why we fight. Warner Law Offices. When you need justice.
Bobby Warner, now's the time. Call 345-6789.
FCA has incredible impact on coaches, the teams, the players, and the community as well.
It's changed our lives. It's changed mine as a husband, as a father, and as a coach.
It does make an impact on our lives.
FCA has become a full circle in our lives.
People from all different kinds of backgrounds.
If all we're going to be is a coach that happens to be a Christian, I think it's more important to be a Christian that happens to be a coach.
Welcome back, everybody. Chris Kidd here with you with Butch Mounts, our engineer, as at the half, George Washington leading Ashland, Kentucky, 23-20 here from George Washington High School. As you look at the first half scoring on both sides, Ashland, Kentucky led by Ethan Hudson with 6 points. Then you have Justin Bradley with 5 points, Cole Villers with 4 points, Nolan Phillips with 3, and Colin Porter with 2 points to round out the scoring for Ashland. On the other end, leading all scorers right now is Evan Hughes with 7 points, then Mason Pinkett with 6 points, William Gabbert with 4 points, Gus Eddy with 2 points, Trey Ritchie with 2 points, and Alex Yoakum with 2 points. Again, this game looked like it was starting out going to be an offensive barn burner at the start. Again, it was 9-9. almost immediately into the game. And then after that, defenses reigned supreme on both sides, as both sides have created very difficult offensive opportunities for both, and pace has slowed a little. But it's going to be a dogfight to the bitter end here between these two clubs, trying to keep their undefeated seasons going. Again, Ashland coming in at 8-0, GW coming in at 3-0 in this Par-Mar Tip-Off Classic. But they have shown why they have been so successful early on with the type of defense they've been able to play on each other. And hopefully for Ashland's sake, Cole Villers will be all right after taking that tough fall, as he was able to come back in and hit 4 free throws down near the end of the first half in order to get himself on the board. But right now, point production on both sides, again, with Ashland scoring over 73 points per game on the year, and GW scoring 73 last night in their win over Riverside. It's been a different type of tale thus far here today between both teams. And again, stay with us. At the conclusion of this game, we'll be on our way back down to Chapmanville, West Virginia for the Phenom Country Roads Classic, as it is underway right now with Beckley Prep and Beth Haven, and then having another 4 games to follow, and we'll be there to announce the final 3. Again, you can still watch those games streaming live right now on Video Productions, but we'll be there to announce the final 3 games of the day, as it'll be Man and Nitro at approximately 5:30 p.m. Then following that, it'll be Greater Beckley Christian and Winton Woods, Ohio, and then the nightcap will be the 2-time defending West Virginia State champions, the Chapmanville Tigers, taking on Miller, Virginia, another private prep school that Chapmanville was able to knock off last night in International Sports Academy, beating them 66-57. Miller, Virginia was able to beat Beckley Prep 57-51 in an entertaining game. So it should be another great clash tonight, as Chapmanville, despite losing a couple key starters, still with Obina Anachile, Killam, Philip Mullins, and also Andrew Scholl. And Scholl had 27 points last night, including 6 3-pointers in that win. Obina had 19, including a thunderous dunk at the end of the game, and Mullins had 15. So that 3-headed monster of Chapmanville that have been there for 3 straight state tournament runs and 3 straight state championship appearances, including 2 titles, looking for 1 more before they leave this year, as they've been considered the overwhelming favorites to take the title again this year. But going to be a tough task here tonight to see how they do against Miller, Virginia. So again, all this action coming your way all day long on Video Productions, so make sure you stay with us throughout the day to catch all of your favorite high school basketball action. And right now we've got a tight one coming down here towards the start of the second half between Ashland, Kentucky and GW, but it's GW with a late mini run to take a 23-20 lead heading into the half. Well, we'll step aside for a break, and when we come back, it'll be close to the start of quarter number 3 between these 2 undefeated clubs. Stay with us as you are watching the Par-Mar Tip-Off Classic with us right here live on Video Productions.
If you've been in an accident, don't assume the insurance company will take care of you. Don't assume the medical bills will be paid. Don't assume anything. There's too much at stake. Accidents happen in an instant, but the injuries may last a lifetime. So hire the law firm with a history of results. Call us today. Warner Law Offices, when you need justice.
Bobby Warner, now's the time. Call 345-6789.
What started as the Par-Mar Oil Company in 1967 has grown into 116 convenience stores in 4 states. Par-Mar convenience stores offer monthly product specials and grab-and-go items. Located just down the street from where you live, Par-Mar stores are all about being your above-par convenience store. If you don't have a Par-Mar store near you now, you will soon. Par-Mar convenience stores, neighbors serving your community and making life a little bit easier every day.
Did you know when you send or receive a text message, you take your eyes off the road for 5 seconds? At 55 miles per hour, that's like driving more than the length of a football field blindfolded. As a result, thousands of people die every year in crashes related to distracted driving. That's why we're cracking down on people who text or use their smartphones while driving. We would rather you cross the goal line alive. Law enforcement officers write tickets to save lives. Don't text and drive.
You've been seriously injured. Now it's time to pick a lawyer.
You pick one with big verdicts and settlements?
We've successfully handled many million-dollar cases.
How about the recommendation of a friend?
We probably help somebody in your neighborhood.
How about a firm with lots of resources?
You can have it all.
We're Farmer Klein and Campbell.
Well known and very effective.
When you call us about your injury, you'll know you've made the right decision.
Farmer Klein and Campbell is the way to go. Call 346.
Welcome back, everybody. Chris Kidd here with you with Robbie Mounts back in Chapmanville, and Butch Mounts here with me at GW High School as we are getting set for the start of the third quarter between GW and Ashland. Both teams out warming up right now with about a minute to spare. Well, let's take a look here as this game brought to you in part by Gateway Mortgage Group and Christopher Eller, your area manager. You can get a hold of him and find him at 1202 Virginia Street on the first floor in Charleston, West Virginia, 25301, or call at 304-400-9711, or call direct at 304-881-0717. Again, that's Gateway Mortgage Group with your area manager, Christopher Eller. So again, both teams now meeting here, getting ready for the start of the third quarter, and we'll see if the defensive intensity keeps up the same way as it did at the end of the first half, or if things start to open up a little bit more. As we said, it was run and gun in the first couple of moments of the contest before defense really started to take over on both ends. It looks like starting five back out for Ashland. I presume it'll be about the same for GW here. It'll be GW ball to start the third quarter of play, as they'll be going left to right across your computer screen and television screen, with Ashland going right to left. Eddie will bring it across the timeline. Gives it off to Pinkett. He'll take a quick three and bury it. Again, didn't wait for the defense to get set that time, and Pinkett with his second three of the game gives either team its largest lead now of the game at 26-20. They get it down on the baseline. Trying to find an opening was Phillips. Now they get it back out to Villers. Villers into the corner, three on the way there. Rams around and finally falls home for Justin Bradley. That took two or three hops and finally found its way home. They get it over left side for Pinkett. Now into the corner, driving in is Gabbard. He's cut off, looking, gets it out top. Pinkett takes another three from nearly the same spot. This time too strong, however, as Porter lobs it up ahead, trying to get inside. Now gives it to the trailer, Villers, and Villers lays it in on the left side. It's his first field goal of the game, but his 6th point is the lead down to 1. So 5-0 run here in the last couple of moments for Ashland after trailing by 6. It's Hughes looking inside, now picks up his dribble, under pressure, gives it off to Eddie. Eddie takes it baseline, nice pass into the corner, sets up a jumper, no good, off the mark for Ritchie. And now here comes Porter out of the pile with it, a chance for Ashland to take the lead back. Porter, fadeaway jumper, off the mark, rebound saved and loose underneath. Now they get it out to Hudson, he'll dribble in for the short jumper instead, and he'll bury it. So Hudson with his 8th point now on a 7-0 run for Ashland to re-grab the lead. They get it up top for Pinkett. He'll give it off to Gabbert. Spins in on Hudson. Now into the corner for Hughes. He'll take that three, in and out. Looked good all the way, but comes out. Now here comes Porter. Ashland looking to extend this lead now, and Eddie bumps him on the way to the basket. That'll be his first. Only the second foul of the game against GW. Still inbound from the far side, getting into Porter. A little over 2 minutes gone here in the third quarter. Back out top to Porter. Gets it over left side. Villers goes for three, in and out as it pops out, but nice tap out by Bradley to save the possession. Back to Villers again, but this time he does connect. His first three-pointer of the game. He's a 38% three-point shooter, and now he's got 9 points for the game, and it's a 10-0 run for Ashland, Kentucky, as Eddie turnaround jumper short with it. Rebound off of Hughes, it looked like, and it was, and it'll go back over to Ashland. Right now, GW in trouble here in the second quarter. They scored the first 3 points on a three-pointer by Pinkett, but since then, it's been all Ashland on a 10-0 spurt. They get it on the baseline, drive in. Pinkett gets his hands on it, knocks it away. Ball saved by Ashland. Bodies hit the ground, and GW comes out of there with it. Here's Gabbard. 1-on-4, tries to take it in. Stripped from behind, though, by Villers. And out of bounds, but it'll stay with Ashland. 5:02 to go here in the third quarter. Gabbert will inbound from underneath his own basket. Gets it on the right block. Ritchie rejected, saved by Ashland. Ritchie fighting for it along with a couple of other bodies down low. And we're going to get a tie up as Phillips is able to hang on to it. Possession error will go over to Ashland. Now we got a substitution coming in here for the Patriots. A couple of substitutions, in fact, as Yoakum comes in for Eddie. You also see Ingold coming in. And that'll send Ritchie to the bench as well for GW. 4:50 left in the third. Over to Villers. He's feeling it, and there it is again as Cole Villers, who was quiet in the first half with just 4 points, has now exploded for 8 here in the third quarter, and there's a rejection by Villers on Pinkett as this run continues to blow up here, as it is a 13-0 run now for Ashland, and they have the largest lead of the game for either side. GW had it at the outset of this quarter, but now it's the Tomcats that have full control. You see on the Ashland sideline, Coach Mays and the intensity he has. He can sniff right now that his club could be on the verge of getting a big advantage in this game, but there's a foul on the inbounds. Good fake by Ingold as it sent Phillips open over for his third foul of the game. And we'll see if they call this a shooting foul or not. It doesn't appear it will be. So that'll be the first team foul against Ashland here in the second half. They'll inbound. Get it into Hughes on the left side. Hughes trying to back his way in, puts an elbow in, goes up, and Hughes puts an end to the 13-0 run as he gets his 9th point of the game. 33-28 Ashland. Out front, they get it to Villers. Villers now being picked up by Pinkett. Swing it over to Phillips on the right wing, back up top for Porter. Now to Hudson, back to Porter as Ashland settling in here on this possession after that big run. Now here's Hudson, takes it in on the left side, throws up a wild shot, no good. Hughes with the rebound, had it poked away and out of bounds as Phillips tried to sneak him from behind. Dangerous play there by Phillips with the 3 fouls. Could have picked up his 4th on that one. Now midway through the third quarter, 5-point lead for Ashland, Kentucky. Pinkett crossed the timeline, gets it to Hughes. Back up top for Yoakum. Yoakum step back jumper, count it. Big shot there for Alex Yoakum. Again, he had those 11 points the other night against South Charleston, and he can get going in a hurry. Again, he got on a 5-for-6 stretch the other night that really helped GW get back into that game against the Black Eagles as Porter unable to finish at the rim. A chance here for GW to cut it to 1 or tie. Yoakum loses it, but now we're going to get a late whistle and a foul call. And that's going to go against Ashland. They thought the call was a little late. They're going to get that one on Justin Bradley, and that'll be number 2 on him. Exiting the game is John Gotts for GW as McCarty checks in. Yoakum looking to find someone, gets it into Hughes in the right corner. Hughes trying to shake his defender here, gets it back out front. Yoakum drives in, has 3 men collapse on him, waits on them all to pass, and Yoakum able to bank it in. He's got 6 points now, and the lead back down to 1. So now it's a 6-0 run for GW. This has been a quarter of spurts thus far. Hudson gets into the paint, kicks it out to Porter. He'll go for three, off the mark, no good. Again, he's been unable to get going here today after that 24-point effort last night. He's only got 2 today. In the lane is Yoakum, and there he is to give GW the lead back. We said he can get hot in a hurry, and he's hit 3 straight shots to give the Patriots a 34-33 lead as they are on an 8-0 run. 2:40 to go here in the third quarter. Villers, trapped by Pinkett, gets it back. Top of the key, trying to get by McCarty, dribbles over to his left, lost control of it, gets it back now. They try to reset. Driving in, and a lot of contact as Porter hits the deck hard, and a blocking foul called against Yoakum this time. That'll be number 2 on Alex Yoakum now as we take a look here on our instant replay. And Porter got the little lane, and you see Yoakum tried to slide in there for the charge, but didn't get there in time. So he picks up his second. Now Pinkett will go to the bench to get a breather as Eddie will check back in. So the 13-0 run for Ashland, Kentucky. Now it's an 8-0 run for GW. 34-33, and another tightly knit game here between these two ball clubs. As Villers, nice up fake, gets baseline, swings it around. Now Porter back into the corner for Villers. He's been hot this quarter and gets this one to rim in and out. No good. Now here comes GW trying to extend this 1-point lead. Yoakum's had the hot hand. He'll drive in left side. And a whistle and a foul on the way in. And Yoakum, great job of attacking that time as Ashland wasn't quite set yet. And with exactly 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter, GW holds this 1-point lead, and that's the third foul now on Justin Bradley as he'll check out of the game in favor of Ryan Atkins, who comes in. Eddie looking to get it in, fires down low, up fake, can't convert, but that'll send Gabbert to the free throw line to shoot one. Again, nice ball fake there by Gabbert. That'll be on Villers. That's going to be number 3 on him, so foul trouble starting to creep in here for Ashland. You've got Villers, Bradley, and Phillips all with 3 fouls. Free throw up and good for Gabbert. You see it again here on our video productions instant replay. Again, he got Villers in the air, was able to get the contact as he came down. Gabbert with 5 points, make it 6. So now 36-33, GW as they're on a 10-0 run. Into the left corner, 3 on the way, no good, too strong. Rebound though on the weak side by Atkins. They get it back into the corner for Sellers. Sellers drives in, kicks it out. Villers, quick touch pass over. Again, GW scrambling. They get it over left baseline. Open look, but no good for Hudson. Now here comes GW running the other way. Yoakum looked like he pushed off, and he did. You could see that arm extend as he got inside. That's number 3 on him now. Now we get a whistle and a 30-second timeout by Coach Rick Green with 1:32 left, and there you could see it on our instant replay. Just the extended arm by Yoakum. And that's going to get called every time as we'll take a look here with this 30-second timeout. Just a reminder, this game brought to you in part by Gateway Mortgage Group with area manager Christopher Eller, there to serve you. Again, that's at 1202 Virginia Street on the first floor at Charleston, West Virginia, 25301. Again, you can call directly at 304-881-0717, or you can call by cell at 304-400-9711. Again, that's Gateway Mortgage Group with Christopher Eller, your area manager, there to serve you. So now out of the 30-second timeout. We've got a tight one here at GW High School as Ashland, Kentucky and GW trying to both stay undefeated. Ashland at 8-0, GW at 3-0. And it's been a back-and-forth affair here in the third quarter. Again, the first 3 points went to GW, then the next 13 went to Ashland, and now the last 10 have gone to GW. So who will close this quarter on a flurry as Sellers drives baseline. Nice look over to Porter. Porter drives in, gets free, and he'll go up and he'll end this 10-0 run by the Patriots as he's got 4 points now. 36-35 GW as Eddie looks to hand it off, gets it over to Gabbert. Gabbert over near side, pass inside. Trying to find position at Zingold, gets it out to McCarty, goes for three, no good off the side of the iron. Rebound comes out long, and Adkins able to corral it. Now over to Porter. Chance for Ashland to perhaps take the lead back here on this possession with 40 seconds left before quarter number 4. Nice drive in by Villers, kicks it out. Porter gets a good look, top of the key, and he buries it. So after a silent game thus far on the offensive end, Porter now back-to-back shots to give Ashland the lead back. Now Eddy gets it inside, baseline floater, and Gus Eddy gets his 4th point of the game. 38 all with 20 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Villers has it, perhaps holding for one here at the Tomcats. And GW has the possession arrow to start quarter number 4. Sellers drives baseline, kicks it out. Villers, open three, buries it again. Cole Villers has been ice here in the 3rd quarter as he's got 11 points as a heave at the horn, no good. And that will do it for quarter number 3 as both teams swing back and forth, but it's Ashland with the final salvo to take a 41-38 lead heading into the 4th quarter. We'll be back after this break as you are watching the Parmar Tip-Off Classic with us right here on Video Productions.
Seriously injured. Now it's time to pick a lawyer.
You pick one with big verdicts and settlements?
We've successfully handled many million-dollar cases.
How about the recommendation of a friend?
We probably help somebody in your neighborhood.
How about a firm with lots of resources?
You can have it all.
We're Farmer Klein and Campbell.
Well known and very effective.
When you call us about your injury, you'll know you've made the right decision.
Farmer Klein and Campbell is the way to go. Call 346-5990.
FCA has incredible impact on coaches, the teams, the players, and the community as well.
It's changed our lives. It's changed mine as a husband, as a father, and as a coach.
It does make an impact on our lives.
FCA has become a full circle in our lives.
People from all different kinds of backgrounds.
If all we're going to be is a coach that happens to be a Christian, I think it's more important to be a Christian that happens to be a coach.
Quarter number 4 here from GW High School. Chris Kidd here with you with Butch Mounts, our engineer. As the 3rd quarter that saw swings back and forth, a 13-0 run for Ashland, a 10-0 run for GW, and then a little flurry at the end of the quarter for Ashland to retake the lead at 41-38. Now GW with the ball here, trying to tie this up with a 3 or cut it to 1. Nice look by Pinkett and gets it off to Gabbert for the lay-in. Gabbert now with 8 points for the game, and the lead back down to 1. Here's Porter, gets it over left side. Pinkett almost fell down, and we get a whistle. Let's see what we've got here. They're going to get a foul and a block on Pinkett, it appears. That'll be number 1 on Pinkett. We get a look here on our replay of the foul a moment ago, and now Villers looks to get it in, gets it in, and now throws it away in the backcourt, diving for it, and a travel on GW, and that's a shame for GW because if they don't touch that ball, they get the possession back because Ashland threw it away. But again, you can't fault the hustle of your defenders at that point, but it's one of those just reactionary things. But instead it gives the ball back to Ashland. Now they get it over to Villers. Goes for 3 again. No good as it slides off the rim. Nice save by Atkins as he was falling out of bounds to get it to Gillum. Now Porter, jab steps, gets inside. What a look, and he rewards Atkins for his hustle a moment ago. Again, Atkins saved the possession by getting that ball back out after Villers' miss. And Porter gives him the payoff with a nice dish off to extend the lead back to 3. Gabbert to the free throw line. Gets it over into the corner. Back out front now, stolen away by Sellers. Sellers on a breakaway, takes it in with the left hand, and he'll lay it in. And that'll draw a timeout by GW with 6:44 to go here in the ball game. A 30-second timeout, so we'll keep things here with the Patriots now trailing it by 5. Again, we saw where GW had a 6-point lead at one point in the 3rd quarter. Then Ashland ended up extending their lead as high as 7 before GW came back to take the lead, and now the lead stands at 5 once again. So as we said, it's been a game of runs here in the second half. First half was more defensive. difficult to find openings, difficult to find good shots. And now here in the second half, things have opened up a little bit more. And we'll see basically who's going to get the last run in this ball game, because it's Ashland now that's been on a mini run since near the end of the third quarter. GW with the ball out of the 30-second timeout by Rick Green. Pinkett brings it up the floor, gives it off to Gabbert. Gabbert back to Pinkett. Eddie takes a deep three, but rejected by Villers. Got his hand around on it, and then Eddie, I think, reached in the backcourt. And really not the worst foul by Eddie right on that attempt. And we talked about in the first game, frustration fouls after missing a shot. And that may have been what it was, but at the same time, it probably worked out better for GW because there's a breakaway on the other end, or a fast break opportunity for Ashland. Now Porter gets inside, kicks it out. Open look for Sellers, and he buries a three. Sellers with 5 points, all of them coming here in the fourth quarter. So he's averaging 8.3 points per game and hits a big one there. Underneath, Hughes trapped, can't find much of an opening. Throws up a tough shot, but able to get it to go. And Evan Hughes now into double figures with 11 points. A much-needed bucket there for GW. Under 6 minutes to play. Villers out front, gets it over to Gillum. Gillum gets into the center, back out to Porter. Now to Villers again for three, and count it again. Cole Villers has been hot here in the second half. That's his fourth three-pointer of the second half, and he's got 18 for the game. He only had 4 in the first half. Going for a steal and coming up empty. McCarty goes for three, can't get it. Gabbert, though, on the offensive rebound, gets over to the right side, and William Gabbert with a nice putback. He's got into double figures now with 10 points. 51-44 in favor of the Tomcats. Sellers gets the right elbow, leans in, tough leaner, and gets it to go. Ethan Sellers, who hadn't scored all game, has scored 7 points in the first 3 minutes of the fourth quarter. Lead is up to 9 now, 53-44. Hughes back to Pinkett. Pinkett thought about a three from the corner, now brings it back over to the wing. Guarded by Gillum, steps in, and Gillum hacks him on the way up. He thought maybe he had gotten the ball in a tie-up. So we'll see if they call this a shooting foul. And it will be 2 shots for Mason Pinkett. That's number 1 on Gillum. Pinkett here today. At 6 points at halftime. He's got 9 for the game, a couple of three-pointers in between. Trying to get into double figures here. His first free throw, front rims and falls through. So Pinkett now 2 of 3 from the free throw line with 10 points as Gillum will go to the bench. Checking back in will be Justin Bradley for Ashland. Pinkett, second free throw on the way. This one good as well. So the lead back down to 7. And here if you're GW, it's going to be time soon to make your move, and it looks like Eddie and Hughes will be coming back in. The next whistle is Porter. Looked like he was being grabbed from behind, but got free. Now over to Sellers, and he continues to dominate the fourth quarter. He's got 10 points all here in 3.5 minutes of this period. Backdoor pass, Gabbert cutting in, counted, and the foul for William Gabbert. As now the offense is starting to open up on both sides as Gabbert gets the baseline and able to finish. As GW fighting like crazy right now to stay close as Ashland has gotten red hot here in the fourth quarter, and a nice drive and a good feed that time in order to find Gabbert on the way to the bucket as he misses on the M1 attempt, however, and rebounded by Ashland, 56-48. Porter. Oh, they may get an offensive foul here, and they do. And McCarty may have sold that a little bit in order to get the call, but he still gets the offensive foul on Colin Porter, and that'll be number 3 on him. Well, let's take a look at it here and see. And Porter comes up, and let's see what. You can see he extended the arm. It wasn't a push-off. He didn't necessarily push him necessarily, but he extended that arm, and McCarty was smart enough to go down Because you extend that arm, you're going to get that call every time if someone's going to the deck. So it was a smart play by McCarty. Eddie, pull-up shot, short with it, may have been deflected, and now we get a whistle, and looks like maybe offsetting fouls here underneath. Yeah, they're going to get offsetting fouls here on Yoakum and on Bradley, and that's going to be 4 on Bradley and 4 on Yoakum. And so they'll go to the arrow on this one, and the possession arrow will go over to Ashland. So halfway through the fourth quarter, Ashland has extended their lead to 56-48. They led by 3 coming into the fourth. Porter double teamed. Gets it off to Bradley. Now they swing it over to Villers, back out to Porter. Ashland probing here. Porter gets inside, fadeaway jumper, rolls off no good, rebounded by Yoakum. Here he comes up the center of the floor. He got hot in the third quarter for a moment. See if he tries to get going again here. Nice drive, takes it in, and there's Yoakum again. Thought he got fouled on the way up, but he didn't get the call, and now he's into double figures with 10 points. Yoakum continues to be a key cog coming off the bench for GW this season. He's in double figures for the 3rd time out of 4 games. 3:15 to go. 6-point lead for Ashland. Hudson drives in, kicks it in the corner, and a charge called. And a big call there because Villers was wide open in the left corner and hit that shot, but wipe it out on the charge call. That is number 1 on Hudson, but that was a big play there. So remember that one, as it looked like Hughes that stood in and took the charge. Saw him do that quite a few times the other night against South Charleston as well. But now an opportunity here for GW, trailed by 10. Earlier this quarter, a chance to cut even closer. Yoakum misses off the mark this time and out of bounds. A little bit of a heat check there for Alex Yoakum after he's hit 4 shots here in the second half. But now Ashland will get it back with just a shade under 3 minutes to go in the contest. As Porter will bring it up the floor. He'll walk it up. He'll be picked up at midcourt by McCarty. Porter dribbles over to his left. Now finds a crease, takes it in, kicks it out. Villers there, back over to Porter. Gets into the paint, swings it into the left side. Nice grab by Hudson. Now to Sellers, who's had the hot hand here in the fourth quarter. He drives in. Nice pass, gets it out over to Villers. Open 3, and there it is again. Cole Villers, 5 3-pointers, all of them here in the second half. And the lead back up to 9 with 2:25 to go. Pass stolen away, taken by Hudson. And now Ashland with a chance to start putting this game away here. Could they score here underneath the Villers? Count it, and the foul as Yoakum fouls out on the play. And Villers may have just put a dagger in GW with these last 2 shots. As you see it here on our instant replay again underneath, Yoakum tried to recover late and did all he could to try and keep Villers from getting that shot off, but instead able to convert and a 3-point play for GW to now, or for Ashland to take now their largest lead of the game at 62-50. Pinkett will bring it up the floor here. GW, they're going to get back into this, going to need some outside shooting and a lot of it in a hurry. It's Eddie, ball fakes, takes it in, driving one-hander off the mark, rebound to Porter. Porter gets into the front court and just is tackled on the way in by Hughes. Hughes just grabbed him by the shoulders and brought him to the ground that time to keep him from getting an uncontested layup. That'll be number 3 on Hughes, and Porter will go to the line. And again, Porter just so fast in the open court. Again, he's like a freight train, and then there you see Hughes. Good form tackle if that would have been back in October. Porter goes to the free throw line. The freshman, 7 points on the night. Good second free throw to go. Lead now at the 13 as he splits the 2 free throws. He's now got 8 points for the game, 63-50. Pinkett kicks it out over to Eddie in the right corner. 1:45 remaining. Eddie to Pinkett. Looking for help as he's been having a difficult time finding any openings. Forces up a three this time, no good, and Sellers gets the rebound for Ashland. They'll get it over to Porter as now they look to run some clock here as they're down to the final 90 seconds of play. Back out to Sellers. Now over to Villers, and again, Villers looked like he had a possible significant knee injury back in the first half after that hard fall that he took. Went out for pretty much the rest of the first half. Has come back here in the second half and shown why. He's been one of the most productive scorers and players in Kentucky this year, as he just put on a show with 5 3-pointers in the second half, including a 3-point play, as he scored 20 of his 24 points here in the last 16 minutes, as free throw up and good for Colin Porter. As Ashland, Kentucky will ice this game away and move to 9-0 on the season. Missing on the second is Porter. And GW will suffer their first defeat of the season as Pinkett loses it on the way in. Porter takes it away as we close down on the final 60 seconds. What's been a very fun game here from GW High School. They get it into the corner. Sellers, that's the only miss he's had here in the fourth quarter. Again, coming in with 10 huge fourth quarter points was Ethan Sellers after not scoring at all in the first 3. Now what a no-look pass by Porter as he finds Atkins once again on the left block for a lay-in. As Hughes kicks it out, 3 from the right side, count it, by McCarty with 36.8 seconds left, and Coach Rick Green will call timeout here for the final 36.8 seconds. And I believe it is a full timeout, but we'll keep things here with Ashland leading by 13. And as we said, stay tuned with us. We'll be on our way down to Chapmanville next. It'll be time for the Phenom Classic. As right now, Robbie Mount's there keeping an eye on everything for us, and we are streaming those games live right now. Again, Beckley Prep and Beth Haven, I believe, just concluding not too long ago, so game 2 will be underway shortly from Danny Gobby Gymnasium, and then we'll be there in time for game number 3 with Man and Nitro again, but all those games are streaming live on Video Productions as well. So it'll be Man and Nitro at approximately 5:30, maybe a little bit later, and then after that it'll be Greater Beckley Christian against Winton Woods, Ohio, and then the nightcap will be Chapmanville, the 2-time defending West Virginia State champions, against Miller, Virginia, as the Mavericks come in looking to stop Chapmanville in that long home winning streak they've had. Again, Chapmanville has not lost at home to anybody since 2017, when they lost a double overtime thriller to Mingo Central. And that was the year Chapmanville was defeated by Fairmont Senior in the state finals, but Chapmanville went on to win the last 2 meetings in the state finals against Fairmont. So going to be a very interesting contest this evening from Danny Gobby Gymnasium. We'll have all that action for you coming up here on Video Productions, as Porter will go back to the line here with 34 seconds left. He'll have 2 shots. First free throw up and good. Porter has split free throws the last 2 times he's been at the line. 3 of 5 from the charity stripe. Second free throw up. This one good. 68-53, and again, the final score won't be indicative of just how close this game was all the way through. Again, a lot of hot shooting near the end as McCarty able to get driving layup and puts it in. But this game was tight right up until about the 3-minute mark of the fourth quarter, and now GW will have to burn a timeout as they couldn't get the ball in play here. And, you know, the outcome definitely not in doubt anymore. But now this will probably be the last stoppage of play before we reach our conclusion here from the Parmar Tip-Off Classic. And as we said, it was a great job of recognition for a lot of the coaches that were here today to be honored. Again, Ron Hess, who coached for 33 years at Huntington, Bob Neely, who coached 26 years at George Washington High School and John Adams Junior High, Mick Price, 45 years at Ravenswood and Sistersville High School, Mark Hatcher, 24 years at Logan High School, Jerry Bradley, 30 years at Greenbrier East and Ravenswood, and then Charles Cole, who is still coaching, 15 years and counting at Dunbar. As they get it up ahead to Sellers, drives in, count it, and the foul with 13 seconds left. Tomcats putting the icing on the cake right now. It is 70-55, and Sellers, just an outstanding fourth quarter, 12 points for him. Make it 13, all of them here in the final frame. As Eddie will bring it up the floor, gets it over. McCarty will go for three. He hits it as he has added 8 points to his total all here in the final moments as they inbound it to Porter. And that will do it here today from George Washington High School as the Ashland, Kentucky Tomcats withstand a furious fight from the George Washington Patriots to stay undefeated and move to 9-0 on the year as they knock off GW 71-58. We'll step aside for a break, and when we come back, we'll recap today's action here from the Par-Mar Tip-Off Classic as you are watching with us live right here on Video Productions.
If you've been in an accident, don't assume the insurance company will take care of you. Don't assume the medical bills will be paid. Don't assume anything. There's too much at stake. Accidents happen in an instant, but the injuries may last a lifetime. So hire the law firm with a history of results. Call us today. Warner Law Offices, when you need justice.
Bobby Warner, now's the time. Call 345-6789.
What started as the Par-Mar Oil Company in 1967 has grown into 116 convenience stores in 4 states. Par-Mar convenience stores offer monthly product specials and grab-and-go items. Located just down the street from where you live, Par-Mar stores are all about being your above-par convenience store. If you don't have a Par-Mar store near you now, you will soon. Par-Mar convenience stores, neighbors serving your community and making life a little bit easier every day.
Did you know when you send or receive a text message, you take your eyes off the road for 5 seconds? At 55 miles per hour, that's like driving more than the length of a football field blindfolded. As a result, thousands of people die every year in crashes related to distracted driving. That's why we're cracking down on people who text or use their smartphones while driving. We would rather you cross the goal line alive. Law enforcement officers write tickets to save lives. Don't text and drive.
You've been seriously injured. Now it's time to pick a lawyer.
You pick one with big verdicts and settlements?
We've successfully handled many million-dollar cases.
How about the recommendation of a friend?
We probably help somebody in your neighborhood.
How about a firm with lots of resources?
You can have it all.
We're Farmer Klein and Campbell.
Well known and very effective.
When you call us about your injury, you'll know you've made the right decision.
Farmer Klein and Campbell is the way to go. Call 346.
Welcome back, everybody. Chris Kidd here with you. Alongside me, Butch Mounts, our engineer. As our final here today, Ashland knocking off GW 71-58 as Ashland remains undefeated at 9-0. GW suffers their first loss to move to 3-1 on the season. But as we said, the final score not going to be indicative of just how close this game was throughout, but give Ashland a ton of credit as they got red hot in the fourth quarter and buried a ton of outside shots as they hit 4 3-pointers in all in the fourth quarter, including Ethan Sellers scoring all 13 of his points in the fourth quarter. And then you got Cole Villers, who scored 20 of his 24 in the second half. So again, just a great effort by Ashland as they were severely tested here today by the George Washington Patriots. But let's run through the final scoring on both sides, starting with Ashland. They were led by Cole Villers with 24 points, then Ethan Sellers with 13 points, Colin Porter with 11 points, and you had Ethan Hudson and Justin Bradley with 8 points, followed by Ryan Atkins with 4 points and Nolan Phillips with 3 points to round out the scoring. On the other end, for GW, they were led by William Gabbert with 12 points, then Mason Pinkett and Evan Hughes with 11 points, Alex Yoakum finishing with 10 points, Zane McCarty with 8 points, Gus Eddy with 4 points, and Trey Ritchie with 2 points. As I believe it's time now for our Farmer, Klein, and Campbell player of the game for George Washington, and today we're going to go with William Gabbert. Again, Gabbert came in, did a nice job on the boards, played some solid defense all the way around, got a big and one there in the fourth quarter to keep GW tight as Ashland was trying to pull away from them, but William Gabbard, again, very tough game here today for him. Again, averaged just 6.3 points per game last year and doubled that total here today with 12 points. So William Gabbard, our Farmer, Klein, and Campbell player of the game here today. But unfortunately for the Patriots, it did not end in a win as they fall to Ashland, Kentucky, 71-58 here this afternoon. And again, earlier today, it was Capital knocking off Riverside for their first win of the season here from this good tournament. Again, we appreciate everyone that helped put this tournament on and helped with us as well as we were here. Again, just a great job by everyone involved. And now it's on to Chapmanville. Again, we'll be in Chapmanville coming up in about an hour or so, as it'll be time for us to call Man and Nitro. Again, those games are streaming live right now in Chapmanville, but it'll be me and Nathan Bush. I believe game number 2 is getting ready to start. Game 3 will be where we'll be on the call, but you can still watch game number 2 on Video Productions with it streaming live. But it'll be Man and Nitro coming up then on game 3, and then I'll be with you for Greater Beckley Christian and Winton Woods, Ohio for the 4th game, and then the final game, as we've pubbed up all day long here, Chapmanville against Miller, Virginia. So again, great games still coming your way today on Video Production, so make sure you spend the rest of your Saturday with us as we move forward here in these holiday tournaments and make us a small part of your weekend here today. Well, again, our final score here today from George Washington High School. Ashland, Kentucky defeats George Washington 71-58. So for Butch Mounts, I'm Chris Kidd saying so long from the Hill in George Washington as you are watching the Par Mar Tip-Off Classic with us right here on Video Productions.